let it go. It'll be again about boundaries and things that you have to say no to.
Yeah.
Y'all, hey, this was just the intro to our episode 160 because that couldn't have been any better. So, welcome to C Chats, episode 160, where we're going to talk about letting it go. And letting it go is going to be multiple things, right? Like, there's so many
Yeah.
things that we need to let go of, like, so many things. Who's starting? Where are we going? I mean, I got a list of stuff.
Yeah. Well, all right. So when we start a new year, we start off about all the things we want to do and all the things we're gonna do. And it's exciting. And, we set these goals, but I think we need to dedicate equal time to things we need to let go and things we're not willing to, as Mel Robbins says, what are you not willing to do the work for? What's not worth it? What are you hanging on to that you really don't need to? Hmm,
Wow,
so
that can be
much.
deep. That can be
So,
deep.
like
Yeah.
we were just talking about in our weekly Patreon meeting with some of our members, we've set our big yearly goals, and now we have that dream, and now we're setting the foundation of how we're going to get to that each week and each month, and what are our obstacles and things. And that's basically what we're talking about with them is what are your obstacles? What do you need to let go of or stop trying to perfect in order to actually make that work and get to your goal? And I was saying that I have a little Libby on my shoulder now. And if I'm doing something or I'm setting my schedule for the day, because I've really been focusing on my schedules to get to my numbers goal, my eBay goal, my overall goal for the year, I have a Libby of, is that thing really going to get you to your big goal? Do you really need to do that? Is it really supporting your dreams, Samantha? So I have to remind myself that, okay, analyze it. Did it really? Okay, no, and then move on. So thank
Yeah.
you.
And
Y'all,
like, why are you hanging on to that thing is a really good question. It's a really flippin' hard question. We did it in the pumpkin plan. It was brutal. It was painful.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Not easy.
Wow. Well, I have to say, we're talking about little Libby on your shoulder. Libby, you must be really good at helping people let go of things and keeping focus. That must really be a gift. Like, I know that you have helped me through life for 12 plus years, but I just was telling people in the listing party that we did this morning that I had a little Libby on my shoulder this weekend for the fact that I was going through organization, which is my big word for the year, and we were going through a bunch of boxes of things. And I found that, you go, you source items or somebody consigns, usually it's sourcing because if you consign, somebody consigns, you better get that listed quickly because they're waiting on you. But the sourced stuff gets, you go in, you're at the bins or wherever you're sourcing, and you comp that item and you go, oh, this has got a great resale value. That I'm absolutely getting this. The sell-through rate's perfect. Awesome find. And you take it home and you put it in that money mountain over there, but you
Mm.
don't have time for it yet. So you put it in that money mountain. And then you go in it, and then that money mountain gets pushed to the second money mountain, and all of a sudden the mountain range, and it's way back there. And then you have a big organization moment, month and a half, like my husband and I are, and you get to those money mountains that started back in the beginning of the range, and you pick up this item that was so valuable when you put your hands on it a year and a half ago, and it's not valuable anymore. The comps now stink. So I'm holding this item and I'm going, oh my gosh, but it had such great value then. And I was so excited when I picked it up. But look at it. Guess what I did? I let him go. I put him in the donate pile. I actually put him in the donate pile. And I learned from this a few things. One, the other Libby on my shoulder saying, the more you touch an item, the less money you make. Well, I lost so much money on these items because I touched them when I sourced them. I comped them. I brought them home. I put them in that money mountain, which, by the way, never stays in the same spot for a year and
Hmm.
a half. It's been moved multiple times, so it's been touched over and over. Then
Oh my
just to
God.
pull it out this weekend
I
to
have
find
such
out
anxiety. I don't have anxiety, but I think I just developed it like right now.
it has zero value. Like there's no resale value anymore. I missed my boat on the item. So I'm letting it go. So I learned a
Wow.
couple of lessons. Let it go. I'm actually walking away from some of these items and just donating back from where they once came. And I learned that when I source items now, if I am going to bring them home, I am committing that they are going to be live and listed within a week's time. If I cannot commit to that, they cannot come home with me.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I like in the summertime, I like garage sales and all that stuff. So I will not take consignment on the first couple days of the week so that I know whatever I get over the weekend gets processed and gets taken care of, because it's so, I think it's worse with consignment because those people's things are a priority, not mine. So it just gets shoved to the side. I have to meet these deadlines. I don't keep a deadline for myself. Once I started setting a deadline for myself of these have to be done by this time, or if like a consignor cancels or something that week, then I'll just block that off. Okay, that's my day to do, because I ended up going to Goodwill yesterday and that wasn't planned or whatever it is, so that it's done and taken care of in a timely manner. Because yeah, otherwise that stuff, it accumulates, it turns into a mountain. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
All right. Well, all right. So I have to say, Molly, what you just said, I love, I mean, it was anxiety producing to hear how many
Correct.
times like you touched that item and how
Correct.
much money you spent on it.
Correct.
But they always say it's feedback, not failure, right? Like you just learned such a valuable lesson and took that experience and turned it into something so
Yep.
incredible and so positive. So yes.
And now I'm going to spread the word and tell everybody. I'll tell you all about it so you don't do the same thing I did. Oh, Lord.
Yes. So
All right, so I know
that's
with
one
the
thing.
pumpkin planning, I know you've been doing a lot of deep diving into your business and things
Mhm.
that you
Yeah.
did that you let go of now. And I'm curious to hear a little more about that.
There's so much. There's so much. And I said right when we started the book club, like we were going to be brutally honest with each other, and we're all going to hear things that we probably didn't want to hear. One of the things that my numbers were telling me and my process was telling me was that I should not do furniture anymore. Now, this is something that I could not let go. I was hanging on to this. I'm in a totally different situation than I was, 12 years ago. Even 2 years ago, I'm in a different location that's really not conducive to, having people drive by and pick it up. It's just totally different. But for some reason, and one of those reasons, this is going to sound ridiculous, when I really looked into why I'm hanging on to this, was that it says clothing, furniture, and home goods on my logo. That's one of the reasons, like right there. I mean, that sounds ridiculous, but it felt like I was giving up a piece of my business, giving up a piece of my soul. And I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to give it up. But it just doesn't make sense for me now. It's a lot of extra work that's not that efficient. And the time I move, even though like the dollar amount tends to be higher, the amount of space it takes up, the amount of effort that goes into arranging shipment or pickup or coordinating all of this, the canceled, or it just doesn't work. So yeah, I let it go.
Let it go.
I didn't even know that
And
you
I didn't
came
sing
to
about it.
this. Like
Yeah.
I work with you and I didn't even realize this was something you're letting go of.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So it really was, I mean, it sounds like it should have been easy, but it really wasn't. And it was that question why we just kept coming back to as we were doing the book and answering those questions. And other people had similar experiences, like why were they doing something? And sometimes the reasons behind it are not what you think they are, and they're not as
Yeah.
important as they should be.
The tagline in your branding isn't a reason to continue something.
Right? Like I
Right.
was like, really? Is this why I'm hanging on to it? Yeah, it kind of was.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I get that. I
Because
felt that with
other
sorting with
things-
Samantha. I felt like I had to do
Oh,
some
right.
part of the sorting, otherwise I wasn't being true to my brand. And then you guys talked me out of that crap. So good job.
Well, yeah, because you're encouraging others to sort with you so they can bring you their stuff and consign. So
Right.
there's still sorting going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just not personal organizing like it
Not
was.
personal organizing. No. But there's still some good sorting happening, so no need to rebrand. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
that why question, like ask yourself why when you do something. Just
It's so funny because
ask yourself why.
I when I started at a new job or when I became a director at the hospital, things like that, I would work with some people and we still do, and we're like, "Oh, they just won't change that process." And the reason is, well, because it's always been like that. It's always been, and that just
Which
drives
is
me nuts.
not a reason. If anybody
Not a
says that,
reason.
I freak out when people say that because
Yes.
that is not a reason. That might be a reason not to do something. It's just not, it's not an argument because that's the way it's always been done. Progress. Hello,
Right.
people.
Hello.
Did that sound harsh?
It's
I
true
think
though.
that was a little harsh.
We hear it all the time. And sometimes we don't even realize that that's like kind of a thing that we're doing until we actually analyze it and go, wait, am I just doing that because I've done it for so long and it's not even really a relevant piece to what I'm doing anymore? Like what? But you're subconsciously doing something because it's what you've always done. Now, the people that are saying, well, that's just the way I do it, and they don't change, that's the frustrating part.
Well, I think I'm carrying a little bit of personal baggage here. Maybe this is too personal. We'll edit it out. But I think I'm carrying a little bit of baggage, which is why it came across so harsh. So my partner for the past 10 years, as you guys know, we broke up and we're no longer together, but it was very regimented. And that was his reason for just about everything. And I think that's why I had that reaction. It's just because this is the way it is done. Like there is a right color to paint that wall. There is a wrong color to paint that wall. There is, this is the way you wash the dishes. This is the way. And I am by nature the exact opposite of that. I don't do anything the way it's supposed to be done ever.
Amen.
And I'll always try something new. So
Especially when
that was
somebody's
a
telling you a
little
certain way to do
sidetrack.
it.
Yeah. If anybody's wondering why I had that reaction that was like so
That would be
out
why.
there and harsh, I'm still carrying a little bit of that trauma with me. So
You mean all those people that were
sorry.
just driving in their car, listening to the podcast, and all of a sudden threw their head back and went, "What? Holy moly!"
She is nuts.
It's true though. It's not a reason. And a lot of people will get set in their ways and then they use that as a crutch and a reason of, well, that's just the way I've always done it. Okay, but why? And if you go through the why and it makes sense and there's a reason it's in the process, then great. But if you won't even analyze that part of the process just because that's the way it's always been done, no, society as a whole would never progress to anything. Like
Right.
you have to change.
I mean, we'd
Okay.
still be walking everywhere with no cars, no vehicles. What would we be doing if we didn't grow and change? For the love of all. We'd be
I
living.
mean, you'd be a little bit like up here in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. It's a little.
That would
Yeah.
be our life.
What are paved roads? We don't even have those. What are you talking about?
It's all horses around here. Horses and feet. No, we're good. All right. What other things are we? So letting go, or have you let go, or have you thought about letting go, but maybe haven't taken the step yet to do so? I mean, that is the thing when you're talking about your goals for the year. And one thing that stuck with me was our episode with Tiffy Pie when she said it's either a F yes or it's a no.
Mhm.
I've been trying to actually bring that into my mind when I'm thinking about stuff that I'm doing in my work life and in my personal life, like things in my daily, like, is this really an F yes? Or am I just gonna say no? Because life is short. Like you got to do the big things at work. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing that like in relation, like for the past 2 weeks, I'm driving myself a little nuts, like in relation to my yearly goal that we set in our mastermind. Like I have something and just about everything I'm doing in the business, I ask myself, does this get me closer to my goal? Is this feeding into the goal? is this going to get me there? And I
Now,
just keep stopping and asking myself that question. It's driving me a little nuts.
I don't know if y'all know this about Libby, but I know we've tapped on this every now and then over the 160 episodes that Libby does get fixated on something. And that one thing, whether it's Indian buffet or ground beef or a quote from somewhere, we're going to drive it home for a while.
Perfection is the enemy of progress.
Yes. But I think this is a healthy thing to say to yourself over and over again. I mean, maybe not every little step you take. Maybe sometimes, maybe letting go one step. But yeah, I think what you're doing is very smart and healthy.
It's also counteracting that thing that Libby and I do with the, oh, that sounds like a great idea. How can we put that into our business? Oh, I like that. We should try that this week. Oh, let's try. And it's like, that's why I hear Libby so much, because I'm like, wait, is that really getting me towards my number that I want? Is that really what gonna get me my goal? Like, whoa,
I've been so proud of our mastermind group because now several times I have heard people say, but I'm interested in that, but it is not going to move me forward to my goal. And when I hear that, I could burst into tears because I think it's just one of the most beautiful things to have that focus. And kudos.
Like you're talking about your business and how this comes about. And you have to remind yourself. I mean, we do that with chats often, and we've mentioned that before, where we hear ideas or see things and think, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then we have to like bring it back around. Why and how is it easy? Not to throw this out for an umpteenth time, but because we have a mission statement and we have an ideal customer. So it's easy to tap back into those things and bring it back around to what really is important to us and who we are and what we do. And we can easily lose track of that as C-chats also. When you get
like when we went to FlipCon.
And all of a sudden
we love to have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube? Yes, we would love to have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And
would we though?
I don't know, maybe.
Would we? I don't know.
I would love to have 100,000 subscribers that were resellers and at least knew what consignment was, if not practiced it, and were engaged and actually wanted to watch our videos and put constructive comments down and were encouraging. And I just don't want 100,000 likes.
Right.
So you would even like if these people were into building a collaborative, building a resourceful community of collaborative resellers.
Yes.
Yes. Then we want them.
Then we want them.
Yeah. So that changes a lot of what we do and ideas that we see others in the business do that are right for them, but not right for us. I mean, we could get into all the kind of things like the clickbaits and the things that pull people in and, but that's not what we want. We want that community that is together and growing. And I think we're doing a decent job.
How many times have we brought it back to our mission statement?
Yes.
Like it keeps us so centered. And I mean, it keeps me centered in my business. It keeps me centered here in C-chats.
Yep.
And now we redid our ideal customer. So we can also, just like we did just before this, what would Debbie do? We're gonna need like bracelets or something. And
WWDD.
And yeah, we have those things in place to keep us centered and remember, like, okay, what is the purpose of us even doing any of this stuff? And is it going to get us to that purpose?
Yeah. And the nice thing is you can revisit that, whether you do that annually or biannually as a group or as a business, you can revisit that because sometimes that may change. What your mission is can definitely change. I mean, I know ours has, as far as Conchi consignment goes. Things have, the base of it has been the same, but when you move from online presence, not so big of an online presence, to a much bigger online presence, I mean, things change. Your business will adjust and your focuses will adjust. So
Don't let
I-
that hinder any of you watching from subscribing or commenting or liking. We still want all of that.
All
Keep
of
doing
that,
it.
all of that.
Thumbs
Just
up.
if you start inviting like 99,000 of your favorite friends, I mean, we might say, whoa up a little bit like that, you know.
We might. We might not.
Why not?
Oh my gosh, y'all. I just can't with
So
you two.
that makes me think of social media though too. And I haven't done it since I left the hospital, which has now been over 2 years ago.
Yay.
Yes, is going through social media. I just started doing it recently, going through social media and either unfollowing, unfriending, taking yourself out of that group. I might do a short reel or something on seeing your groups, and there's like 3 steps where you can just click, and your whole list of groups is just, and you can just opt out of them, the ones that you're like, why was I even in that? Or Cindy
Mhm.
hasn't posted about Pampered Chef in 3 years. What am I even doing? Like, so clean that stuff up, and it'll help like declutter yourself and let that stuff go too. Some of that, if you're pulling up your phone, which we know we all pull it up all the time, all day long, if you're pulling it up and it's frustrating you, or you're not getting anything done, or I mean, like so and so is always negative, let it go.
So I feel like a confession to make.
Okay.
When I got up this morning, before I got out of bed, for some reason, I started like doom scrolling on Facebook, which I don't do. And oh my gosh, did it set me up for like getting on not wanting to get out of bed? Like it just put me in an immediate funk, honest to God. Like I know I can't do that. I did it anyway. Like I need to just let that go and maybe even delete the app off my phone. It made me feel terrible. Now, why did it make me feel terrible? I had lots of different reasons and lots of different things coming up in my feed that I really didn't want to
That you
see.
should let go.
Right. Yeah.
Here's the
All
problem
right.
though. It's hard to let those things go when you have businesses attached to them, right? Like you can't let them go.
Well, yeah, you're right. I can't let social media go. I am on there for my business,
But you can clean up the groups you're in, like
but
Samantha
I
said.
can do that. And I cannot just doom scroll on Facebook.
Correct. You can.
I mean, why did I do that? I know it doesn't make me feel good. Like, why did I do what possessed me to do that this morning?
Look, there are certain apps that I use for certain things, and I have had to stop myself. Like I can only go on them for that specific topic because everything else on it just infuriates me. It infuriates me. And so I literally only use it. I mean, there's one in particular local that I only want to know what yard sales are going on that weekend. And that's all I want to know. So I quit going to the main scroll when I pull up the app, and I just go to search and hit yard sales so that it just does that. And I stay out of the other drama.
Start a garage sale group.
Start
I left all the groups. I was like, screw you. I only ever want to see garage sales. And I was like, I'll just start a garage sale group.
Of course you did.
Of course you did.
Of course you
Everybody
did.
posts all of their garage sales. I go in there every Monday and I delete them all because they're done. And then that's it. And I don't have to go.
Let them come to me.
That's what I'm saying. And then a lot of people say, well, now you're just giving that out there for the other resellers and the other people, and that everybody just has a place to go. Everybody had a place to go when we had classified ads in a newspaper. Everybody has a place to go when you have apps that work in your area. We don't have any apps here for any of that stuff. It doesn't work. And I also maybe message people ahead of time. And if their garage sale starts on Thursday, I say, hey, I can't come Thursday or Friday, but I would really like to come Wednesday night when you're setting up. I could even, just take a look around and see. And they usually say okay. And then I get first dibs anyways. So
Wow. I wouldn't let that go. I would definitely hang on to that. That's something you really don't want to
Don't let it
go.
go. Don't let it go.
I also only have like 3 resellers in my area. So that's fine. And
Well,
I don't source that way, so I'm not worried about it.
I mean, we've said it multiple times, even in areas like where I live or where there are a lot of resellers, and you look at like Vegas, we know so many resellers that we know in the Vegas area, and there's so many of them, but they're all jamming. And there's room for all of them, right?
Yes.
They're
Mhm.
all doing their thing and they all share their stuff out on social media and they all share with each other and meet each other. I mean, I love when I see them meet each other and go, hey, let's meet at the bins and go, and there's like 5 of them. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Even in my area, we have one Goodwill for 100 and something miles. And I'll go there on a Thursday night, like I did a couple weeks ago, and there's me and the 3 other people back there chit-chatting and, oh, look at the game I grabbed. Oh, look at the basket. And we're not even there for the same things. It's fine.
Right. There's room for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that we don't have to let go of.
No.
Let go of the feeling like you can't collaborate or that other people are going to get your stuff. Let it go. It's fine.
Ooh,
There's lots of
that's
stuff.
something good to
There's
let go.
so much stuff. And listen,
much stuff.
I'm just regenerating stuff back in lately. So if you feel like you need some stuff, it's coming back to Goodwill.
It's also because you
She's
looked it
letting
up
it
and you
go.
didn't like its sell-through rate or its prices. So
But you never know. If you take it and put it in your money mountain in a year from now, it might be back in.
One
I
of
love
the
that somebody
things.
this
Oh, go
morning
ahead.
was trying to enable you and they were like, well, what if you just like make a money mountain to the point where eventually it's going to be vintage or desirable and like, and I'm like, how long do they want you
What?
to have this shit?
This is what happens when I'm not around.
Yes. Yes. Somebody was trying to enable her to keep the mountain ranges.
Oh,
No,
Lord.
it's not happening. I have a plan and I am sticking with it. So
Good
it
job.
is not happening. It's not happening.
So,
Fair.
all right, one of the things we're going to talk about in our mastermind Patreon group, but I think we can touch on it here, is think about your process. Think about those things you do. I can guarantee you there are probably at least 5 things you are doing in your business every day that you are doing just because it is habit, it is the routine you got into, and it's not efficient. So I'm going to throw a challenge out there to you both. To
Ooh, I
Debbie.
like this.
Debbie, you're listening.
Oh,
All of our
Debbie.
sea chatters, to find one thing that you do every day that you're only doing because it's the way you've always done it.
I'm still like, I changed this process months ago and I'm still like, why was I doing that? I had my Rolo printer up here. I got it when I first went full time. When I first went full time, I had like 25 items on eBay. All of my inventory was up here. Like this closet had boxes, like everything was up here. At some point, I slowly migrated things down into my basement. So I'm on the 2nd floor, everything's in the basement. I would sell something. I would go to the basement, grab said item, bring it up 2 flights up to here to do all the stuff, to print the things, to, oh crap, I forgot bubble wrap, go back downstairs. Oh my God. I finally was like, I need to move my printer and like some of my supplies. And I moved it all into the same place. And it's crazy. I never have to come upstairs when I'm shipping things. Oh my God. But for the longest time, I just did it because that was just like, I only
How you
changed
set
part
it
of my
up.
routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like this challenge, Libby. Now
Yeah.
I'm gonna start breaking down what I do, like in my listing process. Is there something like in my shipping? Like, what can I cut out?
Just find one thing.
I got to figure
Yeah.
out what I'm gonna focus on. Ooh, I'm
I
excited.
know. And sometimes it takes somebody to say to you, and people get really offended. Like I've had people say things like this to me, and you immediately get defensive. If you get defensive, it's a sign that it's something you
Right.
need to change. Like, why would you do your inventory like that? Wait, why is your printer up in your 2nd floor? And if your response is,
Maybe it's the
well, because I
delivery.
need to. You know what? That's probably the thing you need to change. So the more defensive you are, if somebody points it out, take that as
But
a sign.
it could be the delivery when you go, why is your printer all the way?
So my
I think
husband
I
is
did actually say that to Samantha at
I
one
think she
point.
did. And so did Bill. And probably so did you, Molly. Like, you're like, what are you doing? And
Yeah, but it's
that,
different when it's the 3 of us. Like we know we
or
can
my
handle each
husband,
other's crud.
that printer is the most expensive part of my business other than this laptop. But like it's a wireless Rolo printer. It was the first like big thing I did for my business. And it's expensive. And it's a piece of electronics. and I can't put it in my basement, which sometimes floods. Like I have other safeguards in place for all the rest of the stuff down there, but what if this happens to my Rolo? So instead of problem solving and figuring out something else that would make more sense, no, for months I was just like, because it's not going to my basement. Well, now my husband made me a shipping station on the first floor of our home so that I grab the things, I do the things, I have all the things, I bring them up to my shipping station where I print labels and have stickers, and then it goes out my front door, which is
Right
right
out the
next to
door.
it. Yeah, because
Right
I'm
out the
going out my door anyways. And
Mhm.
I have another tape roller, I have 2 sets of things at each spot so that I'm good. I reset every day. If somebody touches my tape measure, I might lose my stuff. But I have it, and for the longest time I was just like, I'm not putting that downstairs.
Problem solve that. Just wear it on your belt at all times.
There you go.
Yes.
There's where that C Chat's tool belt
Yes.
comes into town. Our apron that we're gonna make.
It's a vest.
Oh, I'm sorry, a vest. Vest, yes.
We still need to work on that though,
more
because
inclusive.
yeah, vests are more inclusive. We need to work on that still though, because I wasn't convinced about where the scissors went, and it still looked a little dangerous. So
Yeah, yeah.
True. And the box cutter, where's that gonna
Yeah.
go?
And
Yeah,
we can't take
like
it in the bins, so
Hmm. Hmm.
Do we have
Well,
a
but we have a lot to work on.
We do. We're gonna master this. We're gonna
We will.
master this.
We will.
Actually, we're not, because we're just gonna talk about it so much that somebody else is gonna come up with it.
I hope they do. More power to them.
if you
Let
guys
us
don't
send
know
you
what we're
all
talking
ideas.
about, go watch the Let's Do Lunch Ladies, where we were on one of the recent episodes, and yeah, that'll explain it. That's all I'm saying.
That really sounded funny the way you said that. The Let's Do Lunch Ladies, like the lunch lady.
The Lunch Ladies, go watch
The ladies of Let's Do Lunch.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Lunch ladies. I'm sorry, that's just taking me back to a preschool memory of a little girl that wanted to play lunch lady.
They're serving up the good times. They could have a heck of a tagline with that. I like that.
I just thought of something else since we're talking about this, about letting go. What's a really, really hard thing is I know about myself, watching YouTube videos is not going to move me closer to my goal. Now, I love to support my friends. I love to watch, my friends on YouTube and support other resellers, but that is something I had to let go last year because I cannot.
We do not want y'all to let go of it, though. We do not want y'all.
Yeah. It's fine for you. It's fine for you all. It's just not fine for me. No. But I mean, things like that we're doing, like I find other ways to support my reseller friends. It's just not, unfortunately, watching YouTube. I listen to podcasts. I do all of that, but that is one thing I had to let go. And listing parties, I'm going to mention that. So because I'm not a multitasker, we like to go to the one we host every week, but it's not something that there's so many people that can do it and multitask and do it well. But for me personally, that was a really, really hard thing to let go, because of course I want to go and support all my friends, but those decisions are really hard. That was a really, really hard one for me. And I feel guilty about it because I really want to support. So those decisions tend to be letting some of that stuff go is really, really weighs on me. I don't think I've given up all of the guilt over it.
I think you need to. I'm having the same with what I just told you today. I'm letting go of.
Yeah.
So when we talked about doing this, I'm just going to put it out there. I told Libby that I need to do the hard thing and let go of our live selling event that we do every Thursday night in our business, because it just isn't fitting into my year-long goals and what I need to do. And it just doesn't fit. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to show up for special occasions, because I will be there. But the week-to-week thing just is not fitting into what I need to focus on and where I need to go. And that was a really hard thing to say to Libby, as my best friend and somebody who I have been working with for 12 years. And this was a baby that we created together and built together.
I think you more so than me, actually. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
built it and then I'm leaving her with, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it weighed on my mind for many a month, and I just realized that I have to let it go right now. It may be a seasonal thing, I don't know, but right now I have to let it go. And it is.
So hopefully my friends where I'm not listening to watching their YouTube videos, let's say, or, attending their listing parties or things like that have the same response I'm having to Molly now is that like, I'm proud of you. Like, I'm really happy. I'm really happy that you made that decision. I totally understand it. And I hope people feel the same way. So maybe that'll, in some ways, let me let go of that guilt.
And this is what a best friend does, and then she makes you cry because it has literally been weighing on my mind for months. And this being your response is why you are such a wonderful friend. Thank
Now,
you.
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
I am, because I'm a
No.
hormonal mess.
So somebody did mention last week, like later on, they're like, why wasn't Libby at our Tuesday thing? And I said, she's just trying to prioritize. She's got a lot of stuff. Her business is booming and she's doing good. And they said, yeah, we really weren't sure how she even found the time to do it anyway. So I'm glad that she's prioritizing her business. And everybody was happy for you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, there was only 3 people, but all 3 people were very happy for you.
All 3 of them were very happy for you.
Yeah, because those are absolutely brutal decisions to make.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did promise that you would still stop by once in a while because they're gonna miss you and stuff. So like there's all
Well, there'll
that.
be times that one of us may not be able to show up,
Right.
that Libby will step in and go, hey, I got your
Right.
back. I'm coming
Yeah.
in. Or, Yeah.
Absolutely.
You don't get rid of Libby forever. No. We might be letting her go, but we're not letting her go too far for too long.
I'm not one of those things I hope you're letting go in the new year. God, no.
No.
Oh, is that why we're doing this subject? Is this how you guys
Oh,
get rid of me?
this is what's going on.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Oh, me. All right, y'all. I don't know. I think that I'm feeling that it's time to let this episode go.
I think so.
I feel it's time.
All
I feel like
right.
we have talked about this. I feel like we have laughed. We have laughed a lot, by the way. I
We
feel like
laugh.
we have given you all something to put down in the comments, because we want to know the one thing that you find that you let go of in your daily routine. Because Libby put that out there, that challenge is there. So make sure you let us know, because we do want to know. Yeah.
And we'll be revisiting this. So I'm going to be asking you guys, and I'm going to be doing it myself. I feel like I've let go of so many things this past year. I'm here by myself.
Right.
But anyway, I feel like there's nothing I can find, but I'm going to find
You're going to come up with something?
Oh,
All right.
yeah, absolutely.
Challenge accepted.
Oh, where's the dog? Somebody hide the dog. All right, y'all. Until next time, my friends.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining Libby, Molly, and Samantha, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we build a resourceful community of collaborative resellers. Find all the ways to connect with us on consignmentchats.com. Episodes are available on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. In addition, join our free private Facebook community.